My name's Tamara Chambers.
I'm Cody Melcher.
And this is Tamara Just Saw.
And Cody just saw also too as well.
We just saw Ghost in the Shell.
We did.
Boo! 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 Yeah, everyone agrees.
That's too much excitement for this movie. Yeah.
My blood sugar's low. I need this popsicle. So let's start this off by saying we did not see the anime beforehand.
Yes, I looked up what it's about, basically. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Growing up. I assume...
Same thing. It's
similar.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. I've seen Blade Runner, so I've also seen this movie.
If you've watched Blade Runner while also on a ton of Vicodin, you have seen this film.
Have you ever been cornered at a party and some weird person you've never spoken to before has explained the plot of Blade Runner to you?
But has also had way too much light beer?
Yes.
Then
you've seen this movie.
I hated her design, but as we were saying, we don't know if she looked like that in the anime. Mainly her nakedness.
Yeah, well,
all the time.
Her being naked for a chunk of the time kind of, I guess, could make sense if the idea was that, like, when she goes invisible, she needs to be naked. But they also managed to shoehorn other reasons for her to be naked. Like, one point she takes off her wetsuit and it was like, did we really need to watch her take off her wetsuit for that split moment?
Every time she got slightly hurt, like the first time she got hurt, her arm had just been like gashed a bit. And I know it hurt like further into her like
neural network
programming. Yeah,
sure,
that's way more technical than I was gonna go. Programming.
Yeah.
And I feel like a little bit of light armor would have maybe helped with that. Why does she have to be naked the whole time?
If you can implant X-ray eyes into a person, I feel like you can figure out a way to allow her to go invisible without her being nude in a guns situation.
For sure. Also, going back to the eyes thing where they're putting that in, I loved that design. I thought that was super cool.
Basset Hound seemed cool with him, so.
Yeah.
Or is it a beagle?
Basset Hound, yeah.
No.
I think maybe a mix, because it was definitely a Basset Hound.
I don't actually know the difference between beagles and Basset Hounds. And it says a lot that I'm finding this more interesting than that whole movie.
Yeah, it was definitely a Basset Hound though. But he had the coloration of a beagle, so maybe, perhaps.
It was a corgi wearing a Basset Hound costume.
A ghost in a shell.
We're gonna do our best during the review to say ghost in the shell as many times as they do during the movie, which is every other sentence.
So impossible, we've already failed.
It wins the award for most mentions of the title of the film, and also quickest, because like, first scene, they refer to her as a ghost in a shell, and I was like, wow, we're just gonna hit it right on the nose.
Here we go. Also, like, the action is awful. It's
the
so
whole movie
boring.
is boring. Like a ghost in a shell.
I want to talk first about, like, grabbing our attention, which the lead actress did not do. You talked about this, how you blame more the writing and the direction, which I agree.
Because everybody in the movie was bland, monotonous, like everybody spoke at the exact same tone. Even when people were upset, they were still talking in that very like FBI agent tone.
I think I just blame it more on Scarlett Johansson than I should, because it's just, it plays so much into her vocal register. Scarlett Johansson was always on her low vocal register, and it was just bothering me so much because it wasn't interesting at all. There's moments at the end when you really are supposed to be feeling for this character and the struggles that she's going through, and you just do not care at all. There's people behind us laughing.
They were having fun, I don't know, but they were not, they were having fun outside of the movie. If it tells you how boring and monotonous this movie is, a man got up and walked out during the ending of the movie. Like, Scarlett Johansson is doing a voiceover. The movie is wrapped up. It's very clear that this movie is going to be over. And a man stood up in the middle of the theater and walked out. He was like, I am not wasting any more time on this movie. I am done. I don't care. The cat walking through the frame has been more interesting than that movie was.
Good for you, buddy. Really great work. No, actually, no. You can do better. This story felt like I had seen it 100 million times, but I'm like, have I, or is it just boring?
I think both. Both can be true.
Tell.
And that's what I meant by, like, it's an action movie with philosophy trying to put into it. Because it's like, it's a boring, lazy philosophy movie.
All we are is dust in the wind, man.
Like a ghost in a shell.
The city was bothering me so much, I couldn't get past it. The giant, like, hologram, like, why were they there?
Right.
Why?
And it made no sense in the world. The design of the city felt like someone at LucasArts needed to turn in a project, and he fell asleep watching Blade Runner and woke up the next morning and was like, oh god, and just threw something together.
I loved the design of the Geisha Spider.
There should be a Geisha Spider spinoff that's just Geisha Spider. Like, stop remaking Spider-Man and let's just get Geisha Spider. Willem Dafoe can be in it.
Yeah.
I see it. It's gonna be great.
Geisha Spider voiced by Tobey Maguire. I would love
Well,
that.
no, now you've ruined it. I thought we wanted it to be interesting, not just as monotonous as this movie was.
All right, Andrew Garfield. Fine.
There
Loved Geisha Spider.
Yeah.
It was creepy in a way that I wanted this movie to have creepiness, in a way that I imagined the anime to be.
Right. There were some
again.
design elements that were really engaging and interesting, even though, you know, as a greater whole, it felt kind of rehashed. There were some small elements to it that you could definitely tell were probably from the anime, like that they were directly transposing them, like Watchmen style, onto the thing. Her whole team was great. I would watch that. Like, I'd watch the Rogue One of Ghost in the Shell, where it's not her and it's just all the people that work at the department. Don't really get any more of them until like an hour and a half in, when the movie almost becomes interesting again.
And then they're like, no, you thought, but you thought wrong.
It was awesome.
And a brief moment, you're like, oh, hell yeah, this anime Avengers is assembling, and it's gonna be very cool, and I'm very excited about it. And they're like, no, you don't actually get to see anything about them. I keep coming back to saying that, like, she's not interesting in this, but she's not.
Sorry, ScarJo.
I'm sorry, ScarJo. Sorry. We're still cool, right? Cool. Great. She forgives and she forgets.
She truly is a ghost in the shell.
There's no way that this anime that is so beloved is about this character that is not cool and interesting at all. So she goes and she sees her mother, and her mother doesn't recognize her because she's been made into a white woman. Which was an interesting choice. Why?
Yeah. Okay.
Why?
It's one thing to make the lead actress white in an adaptation from an anime. I understand that there might be production reasons for marketing or something.
Yes.
You know, that was the argument behind
Filling
the Chinese Wall one with Matt Damon, was the director wanted to have a star because he didn't think American audiences would go to it if it was somebody they didn't know from China. It's another thing too, in the movie, she is a Japanese teenager who gets turned into a white robot. And I mean, I feel like there's a lot culturally that could be read into that. The most exciting part of the movie for me was when I went to the bathroom midway and somebody had left the door to the Logan Theater open. I'm not kidding. That was hands down the most exciting part of the movie for me.
Another thing that I did like, I want to talk about those things as much as possible. I liked the like bad guy lackeys that they had. They all kind of looked similar. They all had weird mechanical but like rotted out teeth.
Oh, the Yakuza? It was a Yakuza club. I don't know if he was necessarily like all of his lackeys were Yakuza. Look, it's in the Venn diagram of Yakuza and lackey, there's some overlap, but it's not all the same person.
Sorry, please explain to me what Yakuza is.
Oh, the Yakuza is it's like the Japanese mafia. It's a Japanese mafia group. Yes.
I did not know that.
I know that thanks to Rush Hour.
Oh, good. Another movie I've not seen.
I also just know that.
Okay.
It's in the list of things Cody just happens to know for some reason.
But that's a big list.
There are lots of elements in the design that are great.
Yeah.
But the overall design felt uninspired, I think would be the best way of putting it.
I was just so glad that you were there because one, I wouldn't have finished the movie.
Yeah.
I would have walked out.
We would have both walked out.
Two, yeah, if we were separate. Two, I don't think I would just make this video. I think I probably would have emailed Channel Awesome and have been like, I'm so sorry. I got sick. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I was so disappointed in this film. Oh, there was a cat.
It saved the movie. So.
I want to hear what people think who have not only seen the anime, but who just like deeply love the anime. I would really love to hear what you think. Because if you like it, I'm just gonna be like, I just gotta see the anime, I guess.
I mean, honestly, my takeaway was I just want to go watch the anime because it seemed, I will give the movie credit that it because of the individual elements, it seemed interesting enough that I am convinced that the anime is probably far more interesting.
Definitely.
And so it actually does make me want to go watch the anime, but it seems like a very expensive project to just drive people to the anime.
Oh, I liked her blue hair.
She had blue hair?
It's okay. Next week we get to watch Smurfs.